In this video, I'll give you an introduction to just using the Cartesian plane as it relates to trig. And so if you've got a random point, in this case there was just a point -3, 4, you always want to drop a line down or up to the x-axis. You don't want to connect it across to the y. So you always drop it down. You can fill in that as a coordinate. So the y is 4, the x is -3, and then do Pythagoras carefully with brackets. If you leave out the brackets, it messes up the question completely, and that then gave us the hypotenuse, which was 5. Then, even though theta, the angle, is here, which is obtuse, we're always allowed to look from the inside, which is helpful. I'm always allowed to look from the angle inside the triangle by the origin. And so if they ask me now to find tan squared theta without a calculator, then looking from here, any question that you get to, it's worth just writing out your riddle. Smoking old herbs can actually have those artifacts. And so tan is opposite over adjacent. So looking from this origin angle, opposite would be 4 over adjacent -3. And they ask for tan squared, so don't panic. Just literally take that fraction and in brackets square it, and you get your answer. When you dealing with this section, so you might get a question like this, and they say theta is between 90 and 270. You always want a function, sine, cos, tan, to be a fraction so that you can draw a sketch so that you can solve. So this bubble here is the most important thing other than SOHCAHTOA. So if I look at this and I can't use a calculator and I need to find 26 cos theta, then you'd want to take the 5 across, so it becomes +5, and then divide both sides by 13, so it's 5 over 13, because you want a function to become a fraction, and you know that sine is positive, and an introduction into the cast diagram, which I'll explore in more details in another video. Cast. All students to Clifton or whatever riddle you use to remember this. This says that sine is positive, which is in its own quadrant or in the all quadrant where all things are positive. But it says it must be between 90 and 270, so it must be somewhere here, so it can't be in this quadrant. So I'm going to draw my picture in the Cartesian plane coming into the second quadrant. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, opposite, and the 13 must be your hypotenuse. To be fastidious, this is where your theta would be. How do I get the other side? I'm going to do Pythagoras. So it'll be 13 squared minus 5 squared, which is 144. And when I square root it, I get 12. But I must pause for a sec just to think, where am I? I'm actually where x is negative. So it will be -12. So then when the question comes, please find 26 cos theta, I'm always allowed to look from the center. And so cos would be adjacent over hypotenuse, -12 over 13. I can cancel these and I get 2. 2 times -12 is -24. And there's your answer. Some other introductory comments. If you ever need an angle, then you can press shift. I always shift as a positive to get a reference angle. Or if you do shift with a negative, so if you said I need -1/2, then you can shift with a negative, and you just need to remember that you would plus 180 to get a reference angle. The last thing is, if you're working out an angle and you get 0, something, something, something as an answer, it's probably because you've forgotten to press shift. And so you maybe just typed in sine -1/2 or sine 1/2. So just notice that if you get 0, something, 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 you've probably forgotten to press shift. And I'll leave it at that for this video. I hope that you found that helpful. If you did, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends. Thanks.